We good? Okay. All right. My name is Will King. I got 7th place at the Bainbridge Regionals. This past weekend, I went 6-2. Round 1, I 2-0'd Brandon Despia. Round 2, I 2-0'd Philanderies. Round 3, I 2-0'd Exosister. Round 4, I 2-1 Sprite. Round 5, I lost 2-1 to the PTSD deck. Round 6, I 2-0'd Sprite Adventure. Round 7, I lost 2-1 to Philanderies. And then round 8, I 2-0'd the Bye Sword Soul. It was a good tournament. I thought Arrival Cybers was a good call going into the event, but I ended up only making him 4 times in total throughout the event. But I'll just show you the list. It was 3 of the 1-card starters, Achichi and Picari. If you know the combo, then you just know that these are the 2 best ones. Picari's secondary effect to target another Adagnister and make it level 4 actually comes up, so you can make the Allen Burstian to get into your Mathmech engine. And then you play like just the necessary pieces for the combo, which is the Baruru, the Doyant, and the Donmari. This one is the best. Like, I considered playing 2 of this just because like it's your recursion engine past like turn 1, but it was never needed just because like you can just play off the back end of Mathmech, and most of the time you're killing them with access code turn 3 anyway, so it didn't matter. And then the spells, it was just 1 field spell, 1 fighting spirit, 1 idle reborn, and 1 I meet you. I played 2 of these because if people went to like, if they Veilered, Ashed, or Impermed your normal summon, you can just go the normal summon, link it off into Dark Infant, grab field spell, and then you can use this to grab it back and still keep comboing, so it made it a lot easier to manage. A lot of people play 3 Amici. This card is really bad because if you open up just that and it's your only piece of engine, you really can't do anything super threatening turn 1. Like, you can't make a rival with just this.
Yes, you can.
It's really bad because you don't get the negation.
That's
it's
fair.
really bad. For the Mathmechs, it's 3 circular, 1 sigma, 1 addition, and 1 equation. I didn't play the super factorial because I'm not trying to use this as a control engine. I'm trying to use this as an engine to make access code that can attack twice and end the game really quickly, because you don't want to get into a grind matchup with Tyr, you don't want to get into a grind matchup with Sprite. But also these just open up a lot of play lines, and like, so if they use their hand traps on the Adagnister stuff, and then you just play off of these, you can go Heat Soul and then do the draw every single turn and just get you into more hand traps. But this engine's really flexible. Remember that you can only attack with 1 monster per turn the turn that you activate Circular's effect. And then the support cards were 3 Sonnet Mining, 2 Small World, 1 Sonnet Cross Wipe, and 1 Called By. This just makes it to where you play 9 copies of your starters for the Adagnister engine. This makes it where you play 11. Also, I did it a couple of times where, because this deck plays Small World so well that you can like kind of do the Small World reverse and search nibs. You can search ashes, you can search veilers. You can pretty much search anything that you want to with this deck off of Small World, and you can do it like for combo pieces or for hand traps. Called By, because this deck loses really hard to hand traps at the right time. And then Crosswipe was meant to be the main deck out to mine. I ended up only getting mined once throughout the tournament, and I was just they just ended up shutting it off on their own because they asked me if I had an out, and I did. So they shut it off on their own. This card actually turned out to be a lot better than I thought it would, because it's kind of like it's like a Cyber's version of Heavenly Dragon Circle that doesn't net you advantage, but it just gets you a pop. I really like the card. And then the main reason that you play this deck is because you can play 18 hand traps. So it was 3 Veiler, 3 Crow, 3 Ash, 3 Bell, 3 Nib, and 3 Imperm. All of these were really good, and all of them, so I don't have the actual spreadsheet in front of me, but if you play 18 hand traps going first, you have, I think it's an 80% chance to open 2, and it's a 45% chance to open 3. But I thought that playing hand traps was a really good call, just because the Nib kills Tyr. The PTSD matchup is actually a lot worse, just because like I never wanted to like crow the Tyr names. I always wanted to save it for like spell cancelers and eradicators and stuff like that. And Then Ash was really weak. I would almost consider cutting Ash for Ogre, just because of how weak that Ash is in this format right now. Because ashing tier is it doesn't do anything. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. Valor and Imperm are really good though, because Valor and Imperm and the Kit Kalos on summon is the most powerful thing you can do to it. But that's kind of like my complaint with Ash is that like if you Ash the Kit Kalos on summon, it doesn't stop him from doing the most powerful thing, which is just going Kit Kalos target herself, summon Merly, mill 8. But yeah, so that was the main deck, and then the extra deck is like super standard for this deck. I didn't want to change anything and get like too crazy with it. Tokens. It was 2 Dark Infant, 1 Link Spider. I got nibbed 13 times at the event, so Link Spider was really good. 2 Splash Mage, 1 Wicked, 1 Update Jammer. The 3s were Templar, Transcode, Heat Soul. These 2 are the actual best cards in this deck because like I said, I only made a rival 4 times because I always got nibbed. But ending on Heat Soul and then just having like 3 to 4 hand traps in hand, there's nothing that can really play through that. And a lot of the times I found myself in the situation where they wouldn't get rid of my Heat Soul. So I ended up drawing like 4 to 5 cards sometimes off of Heat Soul, so you're always winning in those situations. Access Code is a boss monster of every Cyber deck because you can get access to Update Jammer and Transcode. So that card was broken. I saw Chris. Wind Pegasus. So this has like the niche effect where you can banish it from the graveyard when they destroy a card on your field by a battle card effect, and then you can banish it, target a card on the field, shuffle it into the deck. That didn't come up a whole lot, but the effect on summon where it summons itself and then you pop back row equal to the number of adding Nestor monsters that you control is really good. Alan Burshin, he searches Addition in your normal combo. I did do it a couple of times out of the side deck where I was able to search Anti-Spell by detaching 4. And then Light Dragon. Hey Chris. Light Dragon's really good because he's just kind of like a monster. He pops monsters the same way. Side deck. Best part of this deck. The side deck was 3 Mourner and 2 Ogre. I wanted to be able to side into 23 hand traps going second against tier limit. But it turns out that Mourner is actually just trash. It's not a good card. What I would consider doing from the future is just bumping Ogre up to 3, cutting these out, and then replacing the other 2 slots in the side deck with another 2 copies of Sonic Crosswipe. And then also, I will say that I sided heavily for the control matchups with Flunder and Exosister. So I had 3 Cosmic, 2 Lightning Storms, and 1 Feather Duster, and then the traps were 3 Anti-Spell and 1 Reboot. But yeah, it was pretty good. Only thing that I would change that like I said, it was the these out, bump the Ogre up 1 more, and then 2 cross wipes, because I feel like it'll help a lot more into the PTSD matchup, because when they try to snow your normal summon for your adding Nestor Engine, it just hurts a lot and it stops your plays pretty much there. But yeah, so that's the list that I played. Shout out to my team, Gather Gaming, Tyler and Steven. Support the local OTS shop. You can go on TCG Player and shop at Big Muck's Cards. Shout out to Fiki. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Gunner.
Let's go.
Let's go, Gunner. My buddy Tyler played Sword Soul at the event. We're not going to name his record, but we will name that he played Sword Soul Allspice, his best card in the deck. If you come back, not this weekend, but the weekend after that, I'm going to start working on a Crystal Beast deck. So we'll show that off then. Appreciate it.